Hey everybody, and welcome back to Memoirs and Some, the podcast. It's your girl Myia Dominique, and I have Miss Makeisha in the building today. Now, it's my dog. Y'all know I love me an older woman that can drop some knowledge, and my girl drops it. She drops it. No doubt, every time I call, if I don't get an answer, she gonna text or call back. And she coming with a hey queen. She ain't coming with none of less. Good energy. But I'm gonna let her introduce herself before we get into the topic.
Hello, everyone. I am Makeisha. I am a coaching consultant. And thank you for that amazing introduction. And that older woman. I'm only 19, guys. So.
When I say older, meaning I'm like young. She like a young tender. If that makes sense. No, for real. She ain't old like
At
that.
At all.
Nah, she's just seasoned. That's the better word. Seasoned, a little bit more wise, got a little bit more experience. But y'all see how she looks? She ain't old. You know? No, but today I definitely brought Miss Makeisha on here because, number one, as she just said, she's a business consultant. So she has a lot of resources, a lot of connections, just a lot of knowledge of building your businesses, advancing financially with your businesses, and even yourself, just getting yourself together. She's a business coach. She's a life coach too. She didn't tell y'all that part. So I'm telling y'all, she's a life coach too. And she just has a lot to offer. But on top of her having a lot to offer, she got an awesome testimony that a lot of people probably don't know. This woman you're seeing today, this work in between. And a lot of times, y'all know I tell y'all, I don't mind working. We were just in here saying that before we started. I don't care about working. She don't care about working. Them type of people I need to roll with.
Absolutely.
So with that, tell me, what you got going on? Walk me through it for I never, even though I know. What's a business coach? What's a life coach? What do you do? How do you help? Lay it on me.
Okay. So, you want me to give you the story leading up to it, or just necessarily what it
Everything.
is that I do?
We want to know it all.
Okay, cool. So, my journey started when I was 17. I became a teen mom, pregnant at 17, my junior year of high school. But one of my goals that I wanted to accomplish, or I wouldn't even say goal, one of the generational curses that I knew that I had to break was graduating from high school with a baby. Because my cousins that were before me dropped out of school. And so I knew that that was something that I wanted to and had to accomplish. It was a challenge. It was
Baby,
definitely
you preaching
a
to
challenge.
the choir. I know.
But the grace of God saw fit. I did have to make a decision to transfer from my local high school into an alternative school so that I can graduate on time.
Me
because
too.
I didn't want to do the summer school. I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to cross that stage with my peers,
with my class. Yep.
And that was non-negotiable. And so I made that transition. I did what I needed to do, and I actually graduated with my baby. And I did better in my senior year than I did my first 3 years of
now,
high
ain't
school.
that crazy? I was just finna say that. When I graduated as a senior, I had all A's, honors, everything. Freshman and sophomore year, I was kicking it.
What? Ooh. I'll look back at my transcripts because I still have them. I'm like, what was I doing?
Yes.
These years.
Yes.
Leaving up out that tunnel at Marshall High School. 4 p.m. lunch, huh? And the crazy part about it, like, I was getting dropped off at school every single day by my mom because we didn't live in the area.
Okay.
But, you know, after you go to advisory, you literally at school for the day. They, check you in. Baby, 4th period, that bell rang, we was out that back door. Yeah.
That was all she wrote, huh? You honest. I went to private school. One no back doors. They weren't playing
at all.
They was not playing
At all.
Man. So that's okay. Well, before I say that, keep going.
Oh, so yeah.
I was going to say
so graduated from high school. I thought that because I had followed my mom through her college years when she was pursuing child development, I thought that was a lane that I wanted to go in. And I ended up enrolling in Malcolm X College for child development. I don't even think I completed a semester.
like
and I stopped going because that wasn't for me. I knew that I knew that school, wasn't for me, but I knew that I had to have an alternative because I'm responsible for somebody else's life. This is not my mom's child. This is not my dad's child. This is my child. And really with what, I had to go through with, delivering my baby, it was like, okay, you have to do whatever needs to be done.
You gotta do what it takes.
So I had a passion for the cosmetology field. So I ended up enrolling in cosmetology school. It was game changing for me. It was one of the most rewarding, fulfilling things that I've ever done in life. Wow. It's so important that when you know your passion or when you know what it is that you want to do, that you go in and that you go in full force, because you're going to give it all that you got. And I'm one of those, I'm relational, I'm lovable. And I'm so grateful that I had the manager and the teacher there. They were Black women, Christian women at that.
Okay.
But they were transparent, as well as they were more of a family. Like they literally took me under their wing and molded me throughout my journey of cosmetology school. So there were times, because I had ended up becoming a single mom during that time frame, that I was not going to school, but when I was there, they encouraged me, they pushed me, they motivated me, and was telling me, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. And that has always been one of my strengths. When older people or like wisdom is given to me, I absorb it like a sponge. And if this is what they say do, then
this is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing,
and I'm on it.
Exactly. So I ended up graduating on time with that, because in cosmetology school, if you go over your time frame, you got to pay per hour
to make that stuff up. I've heard.
And so yeah, and so I did that, and man, I owe it to them, Miss Franklin.
Absolutely.
I owe it, Miss Eula. No, and I don't even like. I know Miss Eula passed away. I heard that, but Miss Franklin, I don't like. And it's so crazy that all the individuals that poured into me, like it was a seasonal thing. And that's why when it comes to relationships with people, like even though they say some relationships are for a season, some for reason, things of that nature. But whenever I'm in that season with a person, I make sure that I not necessarily cherish it. I wouldn't say take advantage. I cherish that, because when you continue to go on in life and you look back at that relationship and the things that was given to you and how it was given, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Because moving fast forward, after graduating from cosmetology school, I ended up moving into a salon, and I was following one of my church friends, and come to find out, we were working for a pimp. And so we went in. Right. Come on, let's toast to that one, because I didn't know.
Thank God for growth.
Woo! So we went in, and he was like, you all are fairly new. I'm a charge commission, all of these different things. And I'm like, okay, I want to be in a salon. I want to get the exposure, different things of that nature. And so I was there for literally 2.5 weeks. That first week, of course, he was saying like the commission. So whatever profit, we made, I gave him the commission. And then that second week, it was kind of the same thing. But then he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a meeting. We need to talk." I'm like, "Okay, cool," because it was pretty decent. And I'm thinking, we gonna have a talk about hours or something of that,
Operating and
of that nature.
yep.
And I remember he took me like in a back room, and I'm like, okay, because we could have met in the open floor, but okay, you know. And he kind of, just told me like, this is what his blueprint is, and this is what he gonna need, and it doesn't matter how you get it. Nah, it wasn't going down like that. So at the end of
That's
that
a little
day,
scary.
So at the end of that day, I ended up just packing my stuff and never returning. So
As you
from
should.
there, I ended up doing hair inside of my home. That was pretty cool, but it's 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 not okay when you have to have multiple people coming through your doors and you have children.
Uh-huh.
It's not safe, and then you're
People know
dealing
where
with
you lay your head.
and you're dealing with a lot of different personalities, a lot of
Yes,
different types
ma'am.
of people, and so I knew that part wasn't gonna be, where I wanted to be for long. So in that time frame, I ended up getting two jobs. Like I was doing hair out of my house, I was working part time U.S. Cellular, and I was working full time Enterprise Car Rental. Because at this time, I'm now a mom of two. But I wasn't. I'll say I picked up my second job or my third job after I had my baby, but I was still doing hair from my
From your
apartment.
home.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I had when I was working at Enterprise, we would travel around the Chicagoland area because we would transport the rental cars from location to location, and then we will also pick up new cars from dealerships
Different.
and drop them off to different Enterprise locations.
Okay.
And I was working with a lot of retired individuals, so much older people who were much older than me. And this one guy asked me one day because I would go to sleep. I'm a mom of two. I'm working, doing hair at home. I'm working part time here and I'm full time here. And so some of our commutes would be like an hour, whatever. It didn't matter. If I can catch some Z's, I'm catching some.
I'm gonna catch a nap.
And so he asked me one day, he was like, why do you sleep so much when you at work? Like, what do you do? He was like, you be up all night. And now when I got to explaining it, everything to him, he was like, oh, I thought you was clubbing. I was like, no, I don't have time to club. I
That
got
ain't
two
even in the
babies.
schedule right now.
And plus,
Listen.
I had did all that stuff when I was young, so it wasn't, after
You
having
ain't finna
children, it's like
missing it.
I ain't miss nothing,
Yeah.
But he was like, I need you to go and have a conversation with my wife. And he was like, I guarantee you she'll be able to help you. And at this time, I think I had been working at Enterprise for about 2 years. Okay. And every time, I got like my anniversary thing, it was either like a coffee mug or a pen to go on my shirt or whatever. So I'm gonna tell you why that's important. Or why I mentioned that. So I went and talked to this lady, and I cannot tell you her name because I don't remember. I cannot tell you how she looked because I don't remember. I know that she stayed in Maywood. I know that she was a small lady. I cannot even describe their house. I cannot describe any of that.
Wow.
This lady poured into me for 2 hours straight, asked me what was my goals, what it was that I wanted to do, and even gave me a plan on how to make
Get
it
it
happen,
done.
how to get it done. And she told me, her and her husband's journey and how they had owned funeral homes and, multitude of different businesses, and just told me why it's important to follow your dreams.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and
that's super important.
Yeah. And
that's
the information that she gave me, I'm talking about everything. Everything. Also, you want a salon?
Knocking off
Okay,
the checklist.
this is what I need you to do. I don't care the X, Y, Z. I'm talking about I did A, B, C, D on
All the
down.
way
I didn't
down.
miss a step, right? So, when I got everything going and when you are in alignment um with God's plan,
Oh yeah, it's always gonna work. You're gonna have no
everything is gonna fall
interruptions.
is no interruptions and everything is gonna fall into
None.
place.
I am a true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
when she gave everything to me and told me what to do and how to do it, I was literally doing that. And it was like the resources and the people was just coming in.
It was like
Like
a
I'm
flow.
planning for something that I see it, but I don't physically see it. And that's one of the things that my mentor now always say, you got to see that thing before you see that thing.
There you go.
And
I like that. You gotta see that thing before you see that thing.
And I just got the planning. Everything that I needed. I started looking for my location. I started even looking for my employees and different things of that nature, and letting them know like, hey, we're gonna be starting, soon. This is what's in the making. Like, I'm letting you
This is
know up
what's
front.
going on. Yeah.
Yes. And when I tell you in that process, like I was literally robbing, even though I was working 3 jobs, doing 3 different things, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul because I didn't have the knowledge of financials and what it was that I needed in order to, build.
And when you're investing in yourself and you don't have that or don't know, you spend a lot more than what you actually have to spend.
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so found my location.
I love this story. I'm here for it.
When I went and purchased, everything that I needed, I'm talking about the items was on sale. When I went to the women's business development and, told them about my business and that I wanted to get started, they did my business plan for me. I'm talking about like everything was falling into place. It was just so crazy. And in the process of me going through this, I was broke. I didn't know how it was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the word says walk by faith and
Not
not
by
by sight.
sight.
And that's what I did. I opened my doors of my salon March the 7th of 2007. Fully furnished, fully staffed, to the point where I was able to give my employees like their first 2 weeks free. So, I mean, it was just, I had everything. Everything was there. And I was so grateful that my dad was there to witness it. My dad passed away 2 months after my grand opening. But just the fact that he was able to see me accomplish that before his transition, that was definitely an honor. And that's something that, a standard that I hold on a daily basis, because if he left on that note, then every single day that I put another step forward, I have to do better than what it was that he physically last
Already
seen me
saw.
accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since then, it's just been
Up.
for your girl.
I love it. I love it.
That's pretty much my journey.
Okay. So we done heard the journey. So what made you go to being a business coach and a life coach? Because we know you could smoke some hair. So now.
So, in my process of being a salon owner, I have a sister with 14 years apart. And in my journey of being a salon owner, I didn't want to deal with a lot of older people because they think they know everything. They want to do what they want to do. Plus, the same individual that I went to work with the pimp with came and worked for me in my salon. And her boyfriend set my salon on fire 6 months after we. Yeah. 6 months after the opening. But thank God I had insurance.
What? I couldn't get it out all the way. What?
Yeah, literally everything. I mean, like,
who does that?
Yeah, within 6 months.
Okay.
But hey, when God is in it, you don't have to.
You don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about a thing. So we got everything back up and running. I began to open my doors to high school students because I knew that there were other individuals that were like me. who needed an alternative to college, but wanted to do something, with themselves and things of that nature. I've always had a heart for younger people, and I don't
That youth
necessarily
group.
know if it was because me and my sister were so far apart, but that was just always something that has been embedded in me. And so I opened my doors to high school students, who wanted to be in the industry or learn about the industry. And during that time frame, I realized that there were a lot of individuals who were homeless, or who, didn't have stable housing throughout the process. So what I did was started a non-for-profit organization. My Love for You Too Inc. It is geared to providing transitional housing to homeless youth and unwed women with children, which are teen moms, because I then realized that a lot of young girls became pregnant because
They
they
didn't
were
have
homeless.
nowhere to
They
go.
didn't have
So they
anywhere to
land
go.
up with this nigga.
Exactly, and felt as if I had to give him a part of me because I needed
That's why I'm
somewhere.
staying.
Yeah. And so, and I knew that,
Yeah.
I wanted my organization to be something different, versus what I had seen, because you got a lot of organizations in the past and now that
Current.
get this,
Right now.
get
All
this
this grant money.
and don't do anything with it. And
And
I'm
don't
like,
help. And
at
don't
all.
give back. And don't got the programming. And don't got the staff. Oh, my bad. I went on the rant.
It makes it hard for individuals like us who have the programming, who have the people, who have everything that you need, but the
We just
funding,
need a
you
little
know what I'm
la-la.
saying?
That's
That's it. We got the plan.
We got all the other stuff. We just need a few little la-las.
That's it. But in that time frame, I realized that, and that's what led me to starting my organization.
Absolutely. I love that.
And doing that. And so from there, we began to do host back to school events. So every year, the second week of August, up until like the pandemic, we would do a back to school event where we would give away uniforms, school supplies, book bags, things of that nature. We assist with prom within our community. So we would go to high schools to see their top three underprivileged girls who couldn't afford to go to prom, and we would have them to do an essay contest, and then we would have someone to come in to read the essays and choose one through first place through second through third place or whatever. And then we will assist them according to their grand prize winner. And so the first place individual will get her dress, her hair, her makeup, everything that, and we did that for about 3 years. Participated in a summer food service program, making sure that kids had something to eat during the summer months and things of that nature. Every year I would dress up as Mrs. Claus, every year except last year, since 2014, I believe. I would dress up as Mrs. Claus and give away toys and everything for the Christmas holiday.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's my favorite holiday. So.
Yeah. And then we will also feed the homeless for Thanksgiving. So I was always bringing forth youth, and showing them like we're not exempt from this, so always being willing to give back in some capacity, some way, shape, or form.
And Keisha, that is a very humbling. I mean, I do it with my kids. Now, me and my kids, before I go into that, my older son is probably going to be a philanthropist or something. Yeah. That's all he want to do is give.
Yeah.
He full blown came in my room about almost a year ago and said, "Can we just go feed the homeless a couple of times of the year?" Mm-hmm. I said, "What you mean? Like what's your plan?"
Right.
Now, ideally, in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, we need sandwich bags, this, that. I wanted to see what what's his thing. And so he broke it down. He said, well, we could make them like, some sandwiches. My kids love fruit snacks. We get them some fruit snacks. I said, man, I don't think the grown people want fruit snacks, but, we could do something. And so now, 3 times a year, they pack lunches. And we go right on Chicago Avenue in Kedzie and pass them out.
That's good.
That is such a humbling. So when she said that, I definitely agree. And I think that's important. Kids nowadays, especially, and I when I say kids, I'll even say young adults because I'm like on that line of millennial and Generation X. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what it feels like to be humble. We used to our parents, and I say we, because my daddy still come do a whole lot of stuff. I don't care what nobody says. Now, on the contrary, it is a very humbling experience to see that you may not always have all of this, what you have. Mm-hmm. Thank God for all of this. It's a blessing, but when you listen to a lot of homeless people's stories, everybody that's homeless ain't always been homeless.
Absolutely.
They not.
Absolutely.
There have been millionaires who are homeless. People with full-blown businesses who just ill-advised, business coach, life coach, who now don't know which way to go because everything was taken from them or they've been manipulated in some way. I mean, all types of stuff. You look at the news, some man was using homeless people's identities for PPP. Like, what? How you get they social? What would you do?
Taking advantage of ill individuals.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was.
I'm just like, when I saw that in the news, I'm like, how did he get that?
Yeah.
You went on a survey with homeless people? Not, hey, are you hungry? What's your social?
What? I got what you need. Let me get something up out of you.
Like,
and they're ill. They're individuals who have issues, and you go out and you take advantage of them.
That's so unfortunate.
But what led me to becoming as humble as that was actually when my dad passed.
Okay.
Because I grew up having everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't up until, you know, right after the burying of my dad that I realized you can't pick up that phone and say, hey, I need this, or you know, you
it's
can't.
Not like that no more.
It's not. It's one of those like moments where you got to really like sit back and be like, what am I going to do?
Absolutely.
How am I going to get through this? Because I don't know what's going on. Like,
yeah,
you go from, look, I need this, or getting the attitude, and he ringing the bell like, come on, let's go, let's go
do it.
You know,
right?
To like figure this thing out. And so I knew I didn't want that to happen to my kids, because if anything happened to me, Lord knows my babies
mine's is screwed.
So,
and I have to do better with that. I have to. Mine's is screwed.
I had to.
I have to. I mean, mine are still younger, so I got a little, hopefully, God willing, got some time to, work through it. But I definitely need to work through that. My kids don't know how to do nothing without me.
But now is definitely the time to teach them responsibility, and that can be done around the house, because that's something good. That's something that, like, at a certain age, especially with having, washer and dryer in home and different things of that nature, we had chore lists.
Oh yeah, they got it now.
This is your responsibility, and how you keep track of that, or how you make it more fun and rewarding. I'm one of those parents. If you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, it's hard for me to say no.
I don't have no reason to say no to you.
But just giving it to you like I used to do, like them Christmas lists, everything that's on there, check. We want to get it all. No, we're not doing that. Show me that you can earn this.
Yep, because here's the thing, and what I had to give myself a reality check, and I had to give them a reality check, and this kind of flow all together, because when you lifting a person up, just like she said, she's been in seasons where people just pour into her. And I've had that where you just don't know why you connected with that person, or you don't know why they're giving you all this, but they just giving it to you. And sometimes God just do that. Here you go. You needed that right now. Here you go. And you got to just learn to accept it. Now, when you don't accept stuff and you don't know how to deal with stuff, that's when God don't give it to you no more.
Absolutely.
That's when you start taking stuff. So that's when it's like, you didn't do well with this. I'm going to have to give you another lesson on that. I'm going to pull back.
Yeah.
His is the same way. When God is blessing you, they are your responsibility. So at that point, you're my responsibility, and it's my responsibility to teach you responsibility.
Absolutely.
At a job, they're not allowed to not pay you for your work. I'm not allowed to not pay you for your work either.
Absolutely.
But you got to work.
Yeah.
So just like they're not allowed to not pay you, they are allowed to not pay you if you don't work.
Absolutely.
So I'm allowed to not pay you if you don't work. Mario didn't get paid this week. He'll be all right.
Absolutely. And that teaches them good work ethics. That teaches them discipline. Not just for now, but in the future when they'll need it the most. You know what I'm saying?
Life. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was one of the areas that humbled me. Moving forward, I've always knew that I wanted to grow and expand, do more and be more, because God has always given me vision. And the vision that He has given me it's never been small. And so
I know that.
everything that I've ever done or accomplished, it was not about me. It was about getting the information and bringing it back to my people.
So yeah.
So that was one of the commitments that I forget I left out. After opening my salon, I made a commitment to the lady, and I made a commitment to God that anytime I get any type of information or knowledge or resources that can benefit me, I'm giving it back to my people. Because when I was working at Enterprise, one of the things that bothered me was when you travel to these different locations and you go into these different branches, us were the ones that were transporting cars. We were the ones that were vacuuming and washing cars.
Those administrative
we weren't
jobs.
In the office with the suit and ties and the skirts and the blazers and things of that nature. And I understand. Labor. Yeah, we have to start somewhere, but it wasn't clicking for me. And so when I initially went to my boss and told her that I needed to cut my days, it was one of those, her stomach, she had a knot in her stomach, but it wasn't until I went and told her that I was resigning that she actually cried, because she was in her late 30s. She had been working at Enterprise since graduating from high school, and everybody she trained was promoted above her. So when she told me that, I knew that there was no room for me to grow within this company. So yep. I'm making the right, move
by moving
around and giving somebody else this position, because
or following what's really for you.
Absolutely.
Because we so many times get stuck in, and again, it's always a season. Nothing is forever. It's temporary.
Absolutely.
But we get ourselves our color. Again, y'all know I don't care. Black folks. We don't know how to take a come up and make it better. Mm-hmm. We take a come up and go shopping. We take a come up.
We get comfortable.
So when you have these alleyways, so to speak, that allow you to deviate and do something different, because we used to what we used to, we'd rather take that way out instead of saying, I could be uncomfortable for this little amount of time. 3 jobs is uncomfortable. I don't care what Keisha say.
Absolutely.
3 jobs is uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Getting out of that uncomfortable place and saying, okay, or getting in that uncomfortable place and saying, okay, this is temporary. I got to do this for this and move on. Once you knew you couldn't grow there, it was time to move on and do something that was much, much greater for a much, much greater good. But then when you look at it and you look back how you talking now, and you just like, wow, just knowing the people that was in the right place, networking, being able, it was networking, but it's not networking, but it's still growth to another place, another area. We don't do that. It's very few of us that are our color that see the importance of sharing it for others to do that. The other folks, they do that.
That's all they do.
They do that. I don't care if they don't never tell y'all they get on Wick and Link and all that other stuff. They do.
They do, but they use it as the stepping stone in order for them to make it to the next level. And see, we get comfortable.
We like it. We be like, I'm hungry. I need other.
But when you go back, because it's deep. So when you go back into our ancestors. And when you go back into time and you get the knowledge, and that's the important part, like, is we're not exempt from any of this. Nobody don't have the opportunity to succeed in life or to make things better. It's just a person making the right decision to want more and to make sure that they get around the right people. And that's how I became into the coaching and consulting, because I've always wanted more. I've always, knew that it was more out there, and I never settled. I never settled. So when I seen that something can be done, or this was a way in, hey, how you doing? I am Makeisha. This is what I do. How can I help you? And every door just began to open, but I never settled. Like, I could go into places and, want something, and you can't tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
accept no.
I don't care who you are. Who's your boss? Okay, well then who's their boss? Okay, well then I'm gonna just go through the back door if I got to. But I'm going to get done and accomplish whatever it is
to get done.
that I need to get done. And so throughout my journey, I've just seen that it is a lot of people get comfortable because the lack of knowledge. Like, when you go back into your families and things of that nature, we were taught, go to school, get a good job, get good grades, graduate, and if you get a city job, you keep it until you die. But that's not.
That is definitely how old people talk. She hit it on the head. I can hear my granddaddy right now.
And,
but that's generational. So it's funny you say that, because each generation does different. And the idea, supposedly, is to do better.
Absolutely.
Do I think things have gotten better? Yeah, in some aspects, but in a lot of aspects it has gotten worse, and a lot of things have been magnified that were kind of pushed to the side coming up. For instance, you got your, I want to say it's baby boomers. Ain't that our grandparents? Baby boomers? Okay. So they're cookie cutter with everything they do. All kids are supposed to be seen, not heard. You go to school, you're supposed to go to college, or you go to the military, or get a good job. Like she said, God forbid you get a city job. Oh, baby, you got to empty that trash till you're 65.
And they also have that thing, because they grew up in the South, that whatever they say do,
that's what you do.
That's what you do. Yeah.
And they have a thing with other races, especially us. African American people who were raised in the South in the 70s, in the 50s, 60s, all of those, even I go back to the 40s. I was about to say even the 40s. And if they relocated to Chicago, so they dealt with racism there and here.
Absolutely.
See, when they relocate, it's one thing when it's in the South, because like even now, even though it's current day, it's still some places in the South where they still is a little funny. Whether they want to admit it or not. They
Absolutely.
are. So coming from the Southwest, full-blown racism, now we got partial racism here, and God forbid you be a black family that got a little money, you held to a whole nother standard. You look like my grandparents. They was the first black people on their block. They full-blown bought their house. My grandparents bought their house back in the 40s for like $8,000. First black family. And see, over there, it was all Caucasian. Now, you can't find one.
Absolutely.
I say that to say, when your mindset is set in a certain place, they have a thing with Caucasians, whether they're good, bad, or ugly. It don't matter. I have some really cool Caucasian friends who are the stuff. Paulina is my girl. Shout out to Paulina. But for real, I thank God for that growth, because that's generational.
Absolutely.
When you look at my mom and them, I guess generation, so to speak, that's like that early 70s all the way up until like before, like 79, before you really get to them 80s. they not like against having Caucasian people around.
Mhm.
They all for it. My mom went to Notre Dame just like I did. Very, very diverse school. We probably was the only blacks really in there. I think it was 2 more black girls in my class. But that's been all my life.
Mhm.
My parents put me in places with other people.
And that's important.
Because the one thing my mama told me was, I refuse for you to grow up thinking how I thought. Because my granddaddy was stuff like that. Cookie
Yes.
cutter.
Yes.
He don't care. He don't care if you help him off the road. He don't like you.
Mhm.
And you could have done nothing to you. But he was older and stuck in them ways. And by the time when you've been traumatized for so long with that, he just said to hell with it. I don't mess with none of y'all. And it's wrong, but can you blame him?
Mhm.
So we supposed to teach our kids better. It didn't happen. It skipped like one of them generations.
And that's why I don't like the whole tradition thing. Like
Okay.
our tradition is something that we don't even like really use.
So give me something that you a tradition or a generalized tradition that you've broken. I like different stuff.
So one of the really big ones is like the holidays, for example.
Okay.
You know, every holiday you look forward, or growing up you look forward to the same thing, just as we started. Easter at your house?
Uh-huh.
No. I'm a cook for my household, but you know, Easter is not in my house. But for me, my tradition for the holidays as well as even birthday, like we're no longer doing okay, we having this big old dinner at the house, and for birthdays we traveling.
Yep.
For holidays, we traveling.
We're gonna do something different.
We doing something different.
Yep.
We don't want the same turkey, ham,
We've been eating that all our life.
We've been eating it all year. What you mean all
I know
our
what
life?
it tastes like.
I mean,
I mean, those are regular foods and sides, of course. And when you say it like that, now that you just said that, we do eat that shit all year.
We eat that all Sunday dinners. Come on,
a bunch of folks
like
on the holiday.
I'm so sick of American food. Like I try so much stuff now. It's ridiculous because like it's a mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mentality, and that's the most important part that needs to be broken. Poverty is a mentality.
But that is exactly why your non-for-profit, my non-for-profit, go together, any other additional with genuine. That's why you need them. Because I'm 28. Well, finna be 28 in a couple of months. At the end of the day, I know that there are far more 28-year-olds that ain't doing what I'm doing than there are doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So to know and to be able to have these type of conversations and to be able to relate and like, yeah, you absolutely right. This and that. The ideal 28-year-old, like, girl, I'm going to my grandma's house. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's no shade and it's not shunning.
Because that's what
you used to.
That's all they know.
But if you knew something else, would you try something else?
Absolutely.
Because I got a cousin. Her son don't never be at no holidays. They travel every holiday.
Absolutely.
They're gone right now.
Absolutely.
She don't play that. And it's just her and her son.
Because you get brainwashed. Like, it's
her
the
son
cycle.
know more languages probably at 9 than hell. I probably don't know for my life. I don't want to pick up another one. Spanish is good for me.
Yeah, that's good. You want to get your kids exposed.
Yeah.
Because, when it comes to like the cycle,
mm-hmm.
the systematic, it's something that has been put into place for Black and brown individuals
for so long.
Yeah. It goes back to the sharecropping. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really dig deep in this, it goes back. Yeah. So all of my life I've seen the division.
But our people are uneducated. Our people are
very
uneducated.
I became a coach.
Yeah, very uneducated and very just, we are not well appraised on just anything. I've had conversations with people my age, ladies, men, and number one, they think I'm probably like 30 something. So they always like, well, how old are you? But number two, you'd be surprised at how much our schools don't teach kids. Like, you send your child to school for 8 hours a day, and you think about it, 8 hours is a long time for your child to be absorbing a lot of stuff that you didn't teach them. God forbid they tell them the wrong thing and they come home. Now you gotta unteach them that and teach them the right thing. When you put your kids in a different environment, they learn a lot more.
So much more.
They learn a lot more. And we don't give that, which is why we have these agencies and non-for-profits and organizations to give that. Keisha deals with young adults, period. She wants youth. She got the eye. She has the mentality, the drive. Me, I'm more towards those moms and babies because I was kind of put there. Like, that was my niche. Once I had my son, y'all know I had babies. Ain't no secret. So to see Keisha not my age, but she still has that same. It's like looking at an older you. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel sometimes when I talk to her. I'm like, yeah, I be saying that too, Keisha.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I'm feeling. I'm sorry to cut you off. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm feeling with, even just hearing her, because the way that she's thinking, that was how I thought. Like, my kids been in private school since day
one. Day one. I ain't
and
play
you
that.
Can literally tell the difference between CPS schools and a private school.
Or even just the neighborhood.
Yes.
The neighborhood. You stayed out here, the neighborhood. I'm not saying we stay in Naperville where it is peaches and cream and they giving out cookies, because they ain't. But my kids ain't getting shot at or shot. They're not. They can go outside freely.
And ride a bike, which is what kids are supposed to be doing.
They play with other race children. My kids are probably 3 of the black kids that's on this block. Mm-hmm. This block is predominantly Hispanic and Caucasian. We have 4 actual black families where there are like children, grandchildren. They like 3 of the kids because it's not other black kids, but there are other Caucasian kids and Hispanic children that they play with all the time. And one of Mario's best friends is Hispanic, Lil Ruben. And it's easy. I don't really always know what his mom is saying, but they're nice, and it's a communication base where the kids are safe. Nobody feel no type of way about the kids playing. Nobody sections the kids off. If one kid eating the freeze pie, I give all the kids freeze pies. I don't care. As long as your mom says okay, I'm fine. I'm one of them mamas. Go ask your mama. Ask her first. I don't want to get nobody, kid, nothing. But it makes a difference in how your kids are raised. My mama was that mama. So me being that mama is just like deja vu. I'm like, yeah, my mom used to do this all the time.
It's very important. I got to know mom. Like, we got to have some type of relationship, communication, because I refuse to allow my kids to go to your house or let your kids come to my house, and we don't even know each other's name. Like,
I don't understand that.
That's impossible. I have to be able to know something about you and have some level of trust, because that's my baby. Like, if anything happens,
you should want that too. Coming this way, you shouldn't want your kid over. I feel some type of way if your mama like, oh yeah, you could just be out there with them. Oh no, the heck. Well, you better not think you finna roll like that.
I promise you.
My kids can't cross a main street. I don't care. Hey. And these kids walk to school, and I'm again, it's nice.
Walk to baby. My daughter is in high school, and we sit back and see little girls and boys like 7 walking to school by themselves. I still drive my baby to school.
Teach my kids is getting in the car up until they go to college.
Yeah, I
don't care.
And it's so it's a gift and a curse.
It is,
because like, it's sad that I can't allow, even if I wanted to, put my baby on public transportation or the Uber. I don't even trust Uber.
I don't trust Ubers.
But it's sad that I can't put my baby on public transportation, the bus or the train, because look at what they're doing, you know. So
And
I'm
I'm
gonna make a
sorry,
way.
I just refuse to be that parent, you know, to get that call saying, "Hey, something happened on the bus or something happened at this." I'm not ready for that. I know I ain't ready for that.
And not saying that nothing can't happen anywhere.
True.
You know what I'm
True.
saying?
You right.
Because something
Absolutely.
can happen with them driving a car.
Yes.
But the fact that I'm a little more okay with her being in a car with someone that I know versus being on public transportation
with
with
a bunch
of different strangers and something happened. Like, so
because people don't care about your kids how you care about your kids. And I'm gonna tell you something. Nowadays, just again, I'm a millennial. Although I do the influencer thing, I vlog a lot, I do a lot of recording. Everything ain't to be recorded
at all.
And I have watched people just the other day, Facebook. Why y'all got this man whole body in the middle of the street on Facebook? When I think about stuff like that, when she just said that, it's a bunch of strangers out on this bus or on this train. If something happened to your daughter or my son, my thought is the first thing they're gonna do is record it. Nobody's gonna say call his mom, call her mom, see what's her ID. Those are things that my generation, it kind of stopped there. They don't think about that. First thing they record everything. Man, such and such got woo woo on this day. Man, this happened.
Say it's for the clout. They chasing the clout.
You hit it. It's definitely
they
for the
chasing
clout.
The clout. And that's why, you know, I've done a lot over the years that, and it's so crazy that I was thinking about that this morning as I was getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just mentally preparing myself for the conversation, because I know you said that it was just going to be free, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but what if she asks this? What if she, well, you know what? You've done so much that
you can hit them off.
So, man, like,
you can hit it off.
It's so much that one session ain't gonna be it. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gonna see a whole lot more.
But it's just that humbleness, and as the thoughts were going through my mind,
mm-hmm.
even like we just talked about humbleness, when the thoughts were going through my mind preparing for today, it was just one thing that I want to leave: stay humble, so you don't have to get humble.
Yep.
Because if you gotta get humble,
that's a different route.
That's a different route. That's a totally different route.
And especially when you ain't prepared. So,
and even though you can be the most humblest person, because I've always been humbled, but there have been a time where, and I don't even want to say that God had to humble me, mm-hmm. because there was so many other lessons in that time frame. But it was one of those, like, never take it for granted.
Oh yeah.
Never take anything. Life, never take
nothing is for granted.
Nothing. No. You know. So yeah. All of that just really, you know, that's what really opened the door on the nonprofit side, really getting knowledge on how life had been for the generation before me. Going back to the South, the sharecropping, and you know how they divided families and things of that nature. That was a part of the system that they created. And for me, it was always, how do I break that, and how do I do something different? Mm-hmm. And then when I do differently and I learn it, you know, then how do I incorporate that and teach it to someone else? Because I grew up in a 2-parent household, so of course, you know, with my first son, it was, I wanted to have my family, but of course things didn't work out that way. So it was like, okay, well, you gotta, you know, do what you gotta do. You gotta you have to make it work for you. Mm-hmm. But just seeing that, and then like even, you know, getting a link card, being in on the system on housing and things of that nature. Guys, it's okay for it to be a stepping stone, temporary, yes, so that you can get to where you need to be. But that's not something that you get comfortable with, because when you get comfortable, it's a cap. Right?
And you only go so far.
And you can, as long as you feel like that's where you're okay at, you can never go higher than that cap. You always have to stay below that. So when you're doing that, you shaping your mind to believe like, this is
mediocre.
all I
This is
can
all I
do.
can do.
This is all I can have. This is all I can be.
Yeah.
And that keeps you in poverty. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you with
And
that
poverty
mindset
don't just mean you broke.
at all.
You could be broke in the mind.
Yes.
You can be broke in the mind. And I have to say that because she used the absolute right word.
Yes.
We quick to call people crazy. We quick to call people this and dumb and stupid and all that. But no, it's not even that. It's ignorance and being in poverty. Your mind can be in poverty and literally not have the tools, the things that you need just to shape and to think a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So I never told y'all the title of this episode because I didn't want to right now. But the title of this episode was Bring Her Up Sis, You're Stronger Together. So clearly y'all see.
Wow. And I didn't even know the title.
I didn't tell nobody. I always do that, every now and then because I like to allow people to explain. My platform is not just for fun. I joke. Everybody know I don't got no sense. I play all day. But in reality, sometimes you got to get that seriousness. And I knew having Keisha on, working with Keisha, just being able to partner with somebody so wise, so strong-minded, and like ready. See, I don't have time for slow people. I don't got time for nobody. And everybody tell you, I don't wait on nobody. I don't care. You be late, you do this, you do that. I move on with my day. I don't have time for that. So when I asked her, I'm like, I'm going to be on point. I know she going to be on point. And then we going to go from there. Those type of things make a difference. There's no hate with me and not no other woman in this world. There's not nothing that another woman got that I don't feel like I can get. Mm-hmm. From a Chanel bag to a damn penny. It's not. I might have to work a little bit harder, but it's not. So when you think about that, I never want to be around women that feel like I'm an intimidation. I always want to be in a room with women that feel like, oh yeah, baby, we can get it. We can grow.
Oh, she there? Oh, what? Oh, what? What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going down.
That's how I want to live. All the time. I don't want to walk into a nan group of women where, and I know that's impossible, but if I can help who I surround myself with, that's all I can control. I don't have to walk in the room with a group of haters. I mean, they're going to be where they're going to be regardless. Me walking into a room saying, what can I learn from that woman? What can I learn from this woman? What can I take from that woman and bring home from that woman? And by the time I put it all together, hell, you got a whole nother book that you got to study and get things together. Mm-hmm. But we be too caught up in, she gonna pass me up, or nah, she did that better. Because let me tell y'all something. Here goes a secret. Nothing that's meant for you can be taken from you. At all. They got what they got because that was written for them. That was for them. You got what you got right now because that was written for you. God don't give you nothing more than you can handle. They got that because that's where they was at. You got to stop looking on other people's plate. How we going to make this meal together? Because looking on your plate ain't going to do it.
Sometimes God will put something on you or give you something for someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, throughout the journey, like, I've built and created a lot of different things. And Myia tell you, like, even when it comes to her organization, look, this is what I'm trying to do with XYZ. Oh, let me tell you what I got here. I got a good friend in Minnesota. She has a girls program. And what's needed. I literally forward her my entire file because it's enough out here. It's enough.
And you using what I've already developed or knowing or practicing, so to speak, the things that I'm teaching, that don't hurt nobody. Real women gonna give credit where women do. Real people, period. If she gave me the program, and she the program director. That's what she do. She did it. She wrote it. I ain't do nothing. And I'll be quick to say what I ain't do. I don't care. That's how I am. And I really just wish there were more women that just felt like that. Because it cut down all that catty stuff.
I see that. That's why I've always went into somewhere for a particular thing, and walked out with a position, a title, and it's like I didn't come here for that. I came to,
but your mind
do this.
Yep,
and
your
it's
mindset
like,
be prepared for it already, though. Whether you know, what's the saying? It's not coming to me. It's a Christian saying, though. Is it what God has for you? I'll get it in a minute.
Okay. And when it comes out, just let it out and let me grab it. Let me grab it.
Yes. But seriously, when people, I mean, right is right, wrong is wrong. You got to get credit where credit is due. When a person got it, they got it. And it's okay to say, I don't know. I'll tell you in a minute. Hey, Keisha, I don't know what they talking about. What is this? Mm-hmm. Or do you know what this? I don't mind that. And I don't mind. I have friends who call me for the same reason. But I had always been that friend that everybody called. So I needed some new people to call.
Yeah.
Because if everybody needed for me, yeah, where I'm getting it from?
And I was just reading this book called Who's Holding Your Ladder? Because we all start holding someone's ladder, right? But then when it's your turn to go up the ladder, who's holding it your ladder? You? And then who's holding your ladder at 13 feet can't be the same person who's going to hold your ladder at 26 feet.
No, ma'am. Because that's a different stage.
Exactly. And so we're always going to be holding someone's ladder. But the purpose of the ladder is to do what? Go up. So, you know, man.
That's deep. That's deep.
So you always got to surround yourself with, depending upon how high you want to go. Once you go up, baby, ain't no coming back down. You know, you can pull those, you know, go down to pull those up, but I'm not going back down to stay down there. And that goes back.
And if I try to pull you and you ain't ready, I gotta go. I can't pull you. I can't keep pulling you. I can only pull so long to give you the hand. You gotta want to come up. You're not gonna pull me.
That's the other thing that came to me this morning. So much. I get my moments and my what's the term that I'm looking for? My visions, my provisions when I'm in the shower.
Oh yeah.
And when I'm getting out the shower.
Lot in the shower?
And so much like was just coming to me today, just in general, because when you know when you're going higher.
Oh yeah.
You know, feel it, and then you have to and you have to be still. You have to be able to push back from the crowd regardless of what's going on. You have to be able to push back so that you can clearly hear what your next assignment is supposed to be, or what your next move is going to be. And so it's funny that you just said that, because that's literally where I've been for like the last year, because I've served. That's what I'm looking for. I served so much throughout my life. Even when I needed to be poured into, I was pouring. And I'm talking about like I was pouring from an empty cup.
Let me pour some more, because she's right.
And I'm just pouring, right? But and this is exactly how it came to me this morning.
Keisha.
People will try to tell you have to serve. Yes, that's true.
Yes,
you do have to serve in order to receive, right? Yeah. But when you sowing and you constantly sowing on not so good soil, and you keep seeing that your what you're planting in that, or what you're putting down, is not growing, then what do? You move on to better soil, right? Because when you plant,
can't plant on dead soil.
Not just that, but when you plant, what's the purpose of planting?
For growth.
For growth, right? Yeah. So if I'm planting and I'm seeing concrete, why am I wasting my time there when I can move around and plant on this good soil and watch these flowers grow, right? And so for me, it's harvest. Like, I don't have a problem with sowing and helping people who want it and who I'm pouring on good soil, but I'm no longer pouring on that concrete. I'm no longer pouring on those who don't want to go to the next level. I'm no longer pouring on those who just want to suck me dry. I don't. I love you, you
but
know,
I can't do that no
but
more.
I can't do that anymore. I'm looking for those who, what I like to say, baby, we rebuilding Black Wall Street. So it's time to, like, the foundation has been laid. You know what I'm saying? It's time to start building. We put the soil down. We went up under there and laid the rocks in the new concrete. Now it's time to build a platform.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's where I'm at. I can't go back to the grass over there.
And I'm not building nothing on no shaky ground.
At all.
If you coming to bring shaky grounds, I don't want it.
At all.
I tell people that all the time. I'm in the process of just expanding so much, and I just love it. Being able to be full-blown entrepreneur, just all of my own stuff, just residual. Everything is just mine. I don't have to go nowhere. I don't got to deal with nobody. When you're in that place, there are plenty of times I would tell my friends in the group chat, quick, I'm not coming with y'all. I gotta finish writing my cookbook. I gotta finish doing this. I gotta finish doing that. And they know. The first friend that would have said, girl, you gotta, they was getting blocked. And anybody will tell you, I don't care about using the block list. I am a great user. Apple loves me. I don't play that.
It's not necessary.
I probably don't gotta block them, but still
having them to understand your boundaries. Because,
but my thing
they need to have, with you showing them boundaries, that open their mind to boundaries. Because that's the other thing. You know, as the Bible say, we perish for the lack of knowledge. And so if they don't understand that this is my season where I have to be secluded so that I can work on this, so that this can be accomplished, then, you know, they don't know. But once you show them, hey, let's do this as a team. Like, what's your goals? What are you trying to do? Okay, for the next 3 months, I like to work in quarters. For the next 3 months, this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to hold each other accountable. Every week we're talking at this particular time. And I need you to bring back, you know, what you're doing,
what I'm doing.
Exactly. And then so as they see you doing it, it's like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I got to turn that phone off. I got to turn that TV off. I got to, you know, tell these different people that I can't go here. I can't do this.
It's concentration time, but you have to be ready for that grind. Everybody is not ready for that grind and what it brings. And sometimes, just like we was just talking about with the ladder, sometimes you do have to just flat out cut people.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody not going to understand your growth. Everybody not going to understand your situation. And everybody not just going to flat out understand you and what you have going on. And I'm going to tell you something. It ain't old to everybody either. My mama told me a long time ago, stop sharing everything with everybody.
Oh, yeah. You can't share your dreams with a person that has nightmares.
Baby, I don't tell nobody nothing. Because for what?
But as you go higher, you just gotta pray for divine connection. It's not necessary, because when you grow, you can't grow. Like, I can't grow without you.
Absolutely. I feel that. I feel that.
I mean, we have to have a level of communication where you understand where I'm coming from. And in return, I need you to let me know if this is something that you can do or not. And be okay with letting me know that you can't do this, because what we've done for many years, we've put people in seats with expectations that they can't handle. And so then when we put them there, it's, oh, now I'm blocking you, or now we're no longer friends, or, you know, it's this fallout, when initially it could have been addressed in the beginning.
If we would have just said it where it was.
Right, and put people in their proper seats of where they belong. I can't give you the role as my executive director when you're good at volunteering. You gotta give people what they can do. And the other thing is, and this will be my last point, with just growth and having people around, and like I said, the title is We're Stronger Together. And y'all clearly see we're stronger together. But the bigger thing is, when you know your friends, or developing those relationships, and she said a very good one, divine relationships.
you definitely have to have some relationships that are pure and genuine. Sometimes you just learn that that's not where that person is. Once you learn to accept that, a lot of stuff you don't be upset about no more. I have a friend. She know where she's supposed to be. I hold her accountable. And when you don't do what you're supposed to do, I ain't mad. That's your life. Me being your friend, I did my part by making sure I help you, I keep you accountable, I do what I'm supposed to do. After that, it's up to you to make it do what it do. So if that's not your place, you gotta number one accept that. I'll be okay with accepting it. But I'm gonna still hold you until you tell me this ain't my place no more. Because as long as I know that that's where your goal is at, that's the type of friend I am.
I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna make sure that you
every time we talk,
I'm
gonna say something.
And I don't care if it however long. When you told me your goal, every time I see you, that's what I see. And so I'm not gonna allow you to be around me and to not even think about it. Or, like I had a cousin a couple weeks ago, and he had told me something that he wanted to do probably 2 years ago. And then he came back the other day and he was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work because of this, XYZ. Let me bring it back to you. This was your goal, right? Okay, so what you're doing is on the right track. It's just that you have to put this down for a minute because you need to work on this. But at the end of the day, everything that you're going to be working on throughout this journey is going to lead up to that one goal.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's so true. Did you enjoy yourself?
What?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just making sure that as you go through this journey of entrepreneurship, definitely prayer is going to be needed. Praying for divine connections, praying for provision. Because
patience,
patience definitely. But you definitely you're gonna need a team. You're gonna need to trust someone. And I just told my son this morning. Again, getting dressed. About Judas, right? Judas was one of God's disciples, but yet he betrayed him.
Yeah.
And God knew that he was gonna betray him.
He was gonna betray him.
But he didn't allow him to feel any less than than he was. And so what happened was when Judas did betray him, Jesus didn't have to go back and do any harm to him or anything of that nature. Judas did it to himself because he knew that
he had messed up.
He knew that he had someone that was able to assist him and help him get to where he needed to be. But because of the word that I'm looking for, oh my God, this word won't come to me, and it's literally at the tip of my tongue. I was going to say testimony, but it's not testimony.
Temptation.
Thank you, baby.
Come on.
Temptation. Because of the temptation, that it was being selfish or selfish ambition, greed.
I was going to say a lot of that was greed too.
Yeah, things of that nature. It allowed him to miss out on his opportunity in life and to commit suicide. And so my day here was just to not only encourage, but to, just give a little bit, because that was definitely a little bit of my life and of my journey and why I decided to do coaching and consulting, and things of that nature. I did want to end here because I know we kind of touched on a lot of different things, but, I am a 20-year licensed cosmetologist. I am a 10-year licensed cosmetology instructor. I am no longer behind the chairs. I had my salon for 7 years, but I'm no longer behind the chairs because I saw the bigger picture of what it was that my people needed, in the areas that we lacked, and it was definitely financial literacy. And in order for us to, even think about or get on track to rebuild in that Black Wall Street that we will be building really soon. We're actually in the midst of it now. But in order to begin to build that particular thing, there is some components that individuals need in order to assist them with getting there. And with the coaching side, we definitely start with life skills because, as we talked about, the traditionals, the different things that generational curses, the different things that we were taught. Those things have to be broken. We have to shift our mindset, unlearn what we learned, and relearn the proper way in order for us to succeed in life, because we're no different from the whites. We're no different from the Jewish. We're no different from any other race. We can have any and everything that they have, but if we don't come together with the resources and with the knowledge and bring forth our ideas together, we will never succeed and we will never make it. And so sometimes we have to break that tradition and break that stereotype of women not being able to come together to share and to build, because what's for her is for her. What's for me is for me.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can all have what it is that we desire to have, and we can all operate, you know, in what it is that we do. Because guess what? When a client comes to me and they need this particular service, if I don't provide it, then who am I going to send it to? What am I going to do?
And then is my job still done? Because my job is then still incomplete. My job is to help. I knew I was put here to do that. Help. In whatever way possible, I had to learn how. But I was a helper from the time I set foot here. So if I can't help her, if my services can't help her, what is the harm in giving her somebody that can help her?
Absolutely.
Hey, Keisha, I got a young lady. Da-da-da-da-da. What's the problem with that? Hey, she got a baby daddy. I can take her, but I can't take him. What's the problem with that? That's how you grow. That's how you become better. Nobody's going to always have everything that everybody needs.
Not at all.
But that's why you have a team. That's why Walmart don't operate with one damn person. Target don't operate with one person. Hell, you look at a bread aisle, ain't one type of bread in there. They got 20 types of bread in the store.
From different companies, right?
And they all need it. You think if they don't have that, give me some great value bread in there, you think Walmart gonna have a fit? Yes, they are.
And the great value is a top brand, but it's just labeled with Walmart's name because Walmart has to make some money for themselves. So, hey, one of the taglines that I love from my mentor is,
y'all just caught it.
If we all winning, who's losing? You know, if we all winning, who's losing? And so our connection and our moment here today was to bring forth value and information to you all. And if you all are ready to rebuild Black Wall Street, if you all are aspiring entrepreneurs or already entrepreneurs in the making, and you know you need some knowledge or some resources on how to get to the next level,
some guidance,
and things of that nature, let us know. I'm very resourceful, and
she's very knowledgeable. She know a lot of people. Yeah. It's not, I've learned in this lifetime, all the time it ain't what you know.
It's who you know.
Because somebody knows somebody that can get it done. But do you know that somebody that know that somebody? Put yourself. I was told a long time ago when I first said I was going to open my non-for-profit and all that, before I really started doing the footwork and all of that stuff. How you going to be a millionaire and you don't know what they look like? So you know what I started doing? Going to places where those type of people were.
Definitely.
My friend do this, and I know this sounds crazy. She gonna know who she is when she watch this. Her dating journey, she has a specific type of man that she wants. Never heard of this shit a day in my life until she said this to me. She said, you know what I do? I know the type of man I want. So I go where they at. I get dressed. And that's who I mingle with. I don't mingle with shit else. Because I'm not going to find my husband that way. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you that lady gets dressed, she buy tickets on Eventbrite. And she go places where she can make meaningful connections. She do some networking because she do some business on the side. And those the only type of men she will talk to.
You got to get in those type of rooms. You got to get around the people who are where you want to be. And then you just like we were talking about the ladder.
You got to grow.
If you're here and you want to be here, then you got to get up. You got to get in
with
rooms
the people that
people are here so that they can pull back and grab you. Right? But they're not gonna going to be grabbing you if you still holding on and wanting to go back and forth. They're going to grab you and put you here if you're ready for that level. And that's where we're at, right? But in order for us to grow, we got to go up. People. So we got to get in those rooms with those people. And as we get in those rooms, we learn, and then it continues to grow and go up. So
I loved it. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. It was good. It was past good. Yes. I know we went on and on and on, but
that was so much. And
it is. It's a lot. We got another one too. It's a lot, but I thank you.
You're welcome.
1,000 and I don't know what come after that. Y'all, it's Saturday. But I thank you. Well, we are out for tonight, guys. This is Memoirs and Some, the podcast. I am your host, Myia Dominique. This is Miss Makeisha. And we'll see y'all every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We out.